Hi and welcome to my Python YouTube channel. It's awesome to have you here. If you like this video, a thumbs up would be great. And make sure to subscribe for future videos. I also have a blog at prosperocoder.com with lots of cool stuff, so feel free to check it out. In the previous part of this series, we were talking about adding shapes to the GUI. We know how to draw ellipses, rectangles, lines, or borders of shapes. In this part, we'll make use of this knowledge to add some simple shapes to our Slugrace GUI. Let's start with the settings screen. Let's add two rounded rectangles. Now just the borders without filling them in. Just a quick reminder from the previous video. Here's the Kivy code that we use to draw a rounded rectangle in our test.kv file. So here we drew a border of a round rectangle on a button. So here's the button and here's the canvas with the line, and here we use the property round rectangle and set the XY coordinates, the width and height, and the radius. Now we can use similar code in the settings.kv file. Actually, we're going to create two rounded rectangles, one around the player's area and one around the ending conditions area. Now, have a look at the settings.py app because now it's a separate app and what it looks like now. Let's run it. Let's resize the window slightly. So, we don't have any shapes here yet. Now, one rounded rectangle should be drawn here over the player's area and another one here over the ending conditions area. So let's go to the settings.kv file and add the two rounded rectangles. So we have to use exactly the same canvas instructions to do that. So in the player's area, box layout, canvas, line, rounded rectangle, X and Y position of the box layout, its width and its height, and the radius is equal 10. Now the width of the line should be 2. Now let's check it out. Let's save and run it now. As you can see, here we have the outline of the rounded rectangle over the first area. Now let's add the same code to the ending conditions area. So we have to scroll down over here. Ending conditions, box layout, canvas, line, rounded rectangle, and just like before, the same code here. Let's save, go back to the settings.py file and run. Now we can see the two borders, one over the player's area and one over the ending conditions area. Now this is just a little bit closer to the final version of the screen, which is supposed to look like this. Here we can see the two rounded rectangles. This is the player's area, 1 and 2. So let's run it again to compare. Well, as you can see, we're almost there. Now, don't worry about the colors for now. What matters is that we have two rounded rectangles. And now let's add the rounded rectangles to the race screen. So, here's the race screen. It now looks like so, without the rectangles. Let's resize the window. Fine. And now let's add rounded rectangles around each of the areas. So let's start with the game info. So here, let's add the rounded rectangle. Fine. The same code as before. Let's save and run. Good. Now you can see the rounded rectangle added over here. let's add the same code to the Slugstats box layout. So here, then to the player stats box layout, like so, then to the track box layout, we must watch the indentation, of course, then to the bats area. So here we can add the canvas to the label. So like that. Again, watch the indentation. Good. Let's save and run the Race app, which is a separate app as for now. And now we can see all these rounded rectangles drawn over the particular areas. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we can see the rounded rectangles around the particular areas, but they are a little tight. So let's add some spacing and padding. Here's our Race screen widget, which is our root widget. And here we can add just 10 pixels of spacing and padding. Also here in the grid layout, let's change this spacing from 4 to 10. This should look a bit better. Now let's save. And now, with all the padding and spacing in place, it looks much better. You can see the areas and the sub-areas of the first area surrounded by rounded rectangles. And again, let's see the final version of the program to see what it looks like. So let's run the final version of our app, and let's go to the Race screen, which is here. And here you can see the particular sub-areas and areas surrounded by rounded rectangles. So, as you compare, we're pretty close. Now, as far as drawing basic shapes is concerned, we're done. There are only going to be the rounded rectangles we just added. In the following parts, we'll be adding other graphical elements. In the next part, we'll add some colors. Okay, that's it for this video. If you like it, a thumbs up would be great. Also, make sure to subscribe for future videos. If you want to leave a comment or ask a question, you're welcome to do so. Thanks for watching.